Hello and welcome to another update for my Mets Realm theme team. It's in Out of the Park Baseball 25 for the perfect team mode. And in this season, we're in year 2039. And hopefully, my team can break out of the Iron League. And just before I move forward, if you're new to the channel, my Mets Realm theme team, only if the player has the Mets team logo on it. If it's an actual Mets card, will it be eligible for my team? And so that's how I'm doing this thing. And the way I also do it is I hide the scores and I hide my record until the very end. So I go through my stats and you can sort of guess along the way in your head about how well my team did. So anyway, let's get started and get right to it. So this was an interesting season, and you'll see when I go through the stats. But first, we're going to go through our pitching. The pitching was a very interesting year, not quite as good as previous years, but also not horrible, and you'll see why. So right here we are. We got the starting pitching. Noah Syndergaard, a 3.68 ERA, 11-11. He's been our best pitcher for the past, I don't know how many seasons. If you've watched my previous recaps, you've seen that he has led the league in the top 5 in ERA and WAR, and a pretty consistent pitcher. But this is the first season in a while that he's kind of fallen backwards and not quite as dominant as previously, but still my best pitcher with a 3.68 ERA and 11-11. So that's not that bad. So I was kind of hoping, and you can kind of see, you can't actually see on that screen, but last season he had a 2.75 ERA and 2.68 the year before in the Iron League. So, but he got 12 wins last year and 13 the year before that and 11 this year. So that's not a huge drop off if on the win side, but for ERA, I was expecting a little bit better from Noah Syndergaard. But for Jacob DeGrom, 3.81 ERA. This is his best season in a while for me. Last season he was a 4.22 ERA. So he gave me 10 wins, 6 losses, and generally pretty good. Can't complain about Jacob DeGrom. This is his 20, I want to say it's what is it, 2014. That's what it says, yeah. 2014 card. So that's a pretty decent card. They actually came out with a new DeGrom this week, and it's not quite as good as this one, so I'm probably not going to get it. Even though it's a later version, it's not quite as good. So we're going to be sticking with this and just go through his game log really quick to see his weird game log. He started off pretty well, and so where my cursor is here is the ERA column. And so you can see he started off the season very dominant. He had his ERA under 3 until June. Then he crossed 3.21, and then he just kind of hovered in that area in like the high 3s for the rest of the season. He had a few bad starts here or there, and 5 earned run game in July, another 5 earned run game in September, and then 2 games later another 5 earned run game. So not the most dominant performance, but still a big upgrade from what I had been getting from him previously. Not gonna complain about Jacob DeGrom. Craig Swan, interesting, a 3.75 ERA. Previously a 4.34 and a 3 ERA the year before that. I'm always amazed about Craig Swan and how he somehow manages to stick into my rotation. And every time I'm like, oh, maybe I'm gonna have to drop him to my pen or take him out of the rotation. But this upgraded combinator card to the max is doing pretty good, and I like him as a third starter as opposed to a 2 or a 1. He's a very shaky 2 and not a 1 at all. So having him as a 3 starter with a 3.75 ERA, can't complain. 11 wins. Here's the interesting one that I wanted to spend a little more time on. Frank Viola, a 5.17 ERA, 10 wins and 17 losses. Let's go take a look at his game log. All right. So, a lot of red. You'll notice a lot of red. That means losses. A lot of losses with Viola, especially this stretch from June 16th to August 11th. And then he was a lot better from August 16th to October 1st. Well, not October 1st, he was bad, but to September 26th, he was not too bad. So let's see. Where did he go wrong? 8 earned runs, April 27th. His ERA ballooned from a 2 to a 4.11, and then it never really truly recovered. And then he had another 8 earned run game, June 22nd. And then he just had these weird stretches. I did make adjustments to his pitching priorities, and I don't remember when I did it in the season, but I made some adjustments, and he kind of stabilized for streaks, but as you can see, very unreliable. So he was in my 4th slot, but he probably should have been in my 5th slot, and that's maybe how I will have it next year. All right, so Bobby Ojeda, 12 wins, 11 losses, and 4.12 ERA. This one's an interesting one because he was my best pitcher for a very, very long time, but he's just fallen down and not quite as consistent as I would have hoped. So that's kind of disappointing. But let's go take a look at his game log. I don't think he was quite as terrible as maybe. No, it is as bad as. So he started off pretty shaky with 5.4. 0 is not bad, but then 5.4 again, earned runs. And so he started off with a 4.91 ERA headed into the beginning of May. So that's pretty bad. But then he had a pretty good stretch from May 10th to June 17th, where he brought his ERA down to 3.54. And then he kind of fell off again in June. In like the end from after June 17th until August 2nd, then his ERA ballooned up to 4.06. He had 2 6 earned run starts there and a 5 earned run start in between. So that wasn't good. But then he had this really bad 4-game stretch where he gave up 5 earned runs in 3 out of 4 starts in September, end of August to September. That put him at a 4.42 ERA. And then he finished with 2 decent starts in the last season games. So definitely, very shaky, not reliable. I would say looking at his line, he was better than Viola. And so he'll probably be my 4th starter going into next season. So we'll deal with that. And then we go to our pen. Billy Wagner, our closer, 27 saves, 4.76 ERA. Let me go full screen here. There we go. Forgot to do that. Okay, so Wagner 4.76 ERA. He's been very shaky. He's actually the most unreliable pitcher, but I'm not going to put him as a setup. I kind of don't want to put Orozco ahead of Wagner, but, stranger things can happen, I guess. So let's go take a look at his game log. Look at all his blown saves. 2 blown saves in his first 3 appearances. That wasn't good. Then his ERA started off big. Didn't get under 4 until May 31st. And then what did he do? Blows another save and loses, and the game is lost. And then he blows the next save, and the team manages to win. And then, what's this? June 28th, loss again. Then loss again. Lost 28th, then lost July 3rd. Keep going up. Not good. And yeah, just a lot of. Well, he did have a good stretch from August 15th to September 16th. And then gave up, blew another save on September 19th. And that put his ERA back up to 5. And then he managed to get his ERA back down under 5 at the end of the season. So, Billy Wagner, I mean, I guess he's my closer, but if he keeps faltering like that, maybe we make a change. Orozco, 67 innings pitched, 2.41 ERA, and 6 saves. So he is actually a combinator card and upgraded 3 times. Let me see. I may upgrade him one more time. We'll see. Just to get his right-handed upgraded a little bit. I don't know if I will go all the way, but definitely one more time at least for Orozco. Pretty decent card. Definitely doing a lot better than I would have thought. And I think, if I recall, I think he had a bad season last season. He had a 5.37 ERA last season. Yep. And so this was a really good year for Orozco to bounce back. So very happy about that. Those upgrades for his card probably helped as well. So not gonna complain there. And maybe I'll move him into the closer spot. If Wagner falters and Orozco's doing better, that's definitely on the table. Edwin Diaz, 2.64 ERA, 61 innings pitched. Definitely pitched pretty well. Best season in a while. And he last season 3.90, previously 2.93. So I am happy with Edwin Diaz. If he's good, then he'll be the setup most likely. If he's bad, middle relief. But yeah. And then Brooks Raley, kind of holding on to his spot, 3.74 ERA. He was hovering between avoid high leverage and regular middle relief, and so he ended up doing kind of okay. 3.74 ERA. Can't be too greedy and expect every pitcher to be under 3. Roger McDowell, another one, 3.76 ERA. He pitched 67 innings, and I actually upgraded his card quite a bit, and so he's someone that I expect to be better next season. Now that I have a full season of him upgraded, so Looking forward to that. Adam Ottavino. Remember, there was a live update this week, and I should say the Edwin card got updated. I think it increased. No, it went down. Did it go down? I don't know if it went down. Maybe it stayed the same. It looks about the same. Ottavino went down. He was a gold card before, and now he's in the Silver League, and his card is still doing okay for me, believe it or not. He's a 3.56 ERA, 60 innings pitched, and he did falter in the beginning, and I had to move him out of the setup role. So I think I'm going to keep him where he is in middle relief. Danny Frisella, he's that guy that's like always faltering, and I don't know about this guy. 6.07 ERA, and just can't trust him. He does have a pretty good combinator card that I could get, but that might be that might be what I have to do here, because he is just unreliable, always giving up runs, and I just gotta put him in avoid high leverage situations. So that's kind of disappointing. Bartolo Colon, not quite as good this year. He had actually really bad season, 7.85 ERA compared to last year, 4.13 and 4.52 the year before that. Long relief, don't really spend a ton of time hemming and hawing about long relief. So, yeah. Let's go to our hitting now. All right. So here is my lineup, and you'll notice a new addition to my lineup, Bobby Bonilla. They released a special edition of Bobby Bonilla. I was able to get him, and so let's go take a look at his card. This is a limited edition Bobby Bonilla. Bought it off of the marketplace. Look at this card. Pretty decent card. If you're watching on YouTube here, you can go full screen and see this a little bit better. But he plays first base. He has a great rating. He plays third base, left field is decent rating, and right field. This is a really good card. Really did really well for me, and yeah, we'll go through the stats in just a second. So let's go right through the stats. Bobby Bonilla, he was acquired mid-August, so he wasn't there the full season, but he had 12 home runs, 43 RBIs, and a 335 average. Can't complain about that, can you? Then Piazza, 29 homers, 104 RBIs, 296. Dave Magadan, 2 homers, 69 RBIs, 292. Roger Cedeno, average drops off for the overall, 255. 3 homers, 49 RBIs, 30 stolen bases, 18 caught. Then Howard Johnson, 246, 23 homers, 80 RBIs. And let's keep going to Pete Alonso, 245, 13 homers, 38 RBIs. By the way, for the roster move, I sent Dom Smith down in favor of Bonilla because they're kind of the same positions, and the Bonilla card is a lot better. So that's what I did with that. So Rusty Staub, 244, 13 homers, 61 RBIs. Darryl Strawberry. Let's go to Jose Reyes first. 239, 2 homers, 10 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases, 6 caught. Darryl Strawberry, 237, 33 homers, 72 RBIs, 106 runs, 102 walks. He was batting second a lot on my team. Then I moved him to lead off, but I might change that up for next season. Lindor, his card got upgraded again. Got upgraded back to 96. I expected more from him. Only 230, 11 homers, 60 RBIs. He's only good for defense at the moment for me, so if there's a middle infielder that comes along that's better, he's probably going to get the spot instead of him or Reyes. Matsui, 228 average. Overall, 2 homers, 45 RBIs. I think his lefty stats were a little better. Lefty versus lefty, he was batting 289. So he's a good lefty platoon player. Ronnie Mauricio is just doing nothing for me. 162, just a regular player. Duffy Dyer, 170, 2 homers, 25 RBIs. Don't expect much from him. He is generally just for defensive purposes, and I have him starting against lefties with Piazza at the DH. So, yes, this is very interesting. So, we got a power surge with Bobby Bonilla on our team now. So, really getting our offense up. We could still use better offense from the middle infield, particularly. So, hopefully, they give us a new card at some point for our middle infield. So, now let's go to what you've been waiting for, the reveal of my record. So, now that I have told you my pitching, my hitting, last season I finished 81 and 81, right at 500. I acquired Bobby Bonilla. How well do you think I did? So I'm going to reveal it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I finished 82 and 80. Just 1 game, 2 games above 500. But yeah, this was a pretty crazy season. I did not make the playoffs, unfortunately. I will show you where I was absolutely screwed. I had 2 10-game losing streaks, and I was doing very well. 1, 2. So this was June. In May, I did well. So I will show you my, I should go to this screen, team stats. In April, I was 16 and 10, so I was riding high, 16 and 10. In May, I was 15 and 12. And so you can, so that's, 11, so that's 30, 31, and, no, 32 because of the March win, 32 and 22. I was 10 games over 500 going into June. And then June happened. I was 10 and 18, July 7 and 16, August 16 and 12, September 16 and 11. So let's go and show you what I'm talking about. The June losing streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in a row. The 10-game losing streak. But if you thought that was bad, how about suffering another 10-game losing streak? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in July. And I still finished 2 games over 500. So considering I had 2 10-game losing streaks, and I finished over 500. I'd have to say, not the worst year, considering. I was really worried that my team might just bottom out, but finishing 82 and 80, over 500 with 2 10-game losing streaks, not the worst thing in the world, considering. So, and let's take a look at the wild card standings. So the standings for the regular, I was in a tough division. Top team was 98 wins, then 87 wins, and then 82, and then I was tied with 82 wins. So 4 really strong teams in my division. So that was hard as it is. And if you know, in this game, you got to play your division many times. So, especially the last month of the season, I had to play my division many times. So, that was, that made things a lot tougher for me. And then the wild card, I finished 4 games out of the wild card. And, yeah, it happens. And, so 4 games out of the wild card, not the worst thing, but considering the losing streaks and the acquisition of Bobby Bonilla, finishing the season strong, I think we're in for a good season next year. 2040, next season, I think we're going to do pretty well. Now, on your screen, you might see some Mets cards here. We'll just take a quick look at them and so why I'm not going to get them. This is the DeGrom card they added. It's a 2016 card. Not as good as the one I have, so I'm not even going to waste time on that. Johan Santana. Not even going to waste time on this. Although maybe as a long relief pitcher, potentially maybe. But that's about it. And Verlander. This is a good bronze card, but not for my team. So those cards aren't getting it. And they also added a Brett I don't know if I showed the Brett Saberhagen they added. This is the one they added. Not good enough for my team. And his stamina is pretty low as well. So probably not going to go with him. So there are only 2 cards available that I'm trying to get. Beltran and Christian Scott. And once I get those, not that one. This one right here is a Met card. Center fielder. Looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. This is the card that I need at the moment. And what else? The other one, Christian Scott. Right here. This is the pitcher card. Christian Scott, future legend. Definitely not as good in real life as this card looks like, but I'll take it. And so those are the 2 cards that I'm going for, but I'm not going to open my packs yet until some better Mets cards are released. And as you can see, I got 369 packs. So we're going to be having a lot of packs to open once they release a new Mets card at some point that's worth trying to pull. In the meantime, the Beltran card is dropping in value, so it's Christian Scott, and I don't mind waiting because my team is actually progressing. It's doing well. So 2039 just missed out on the wild card. Hopefully next season, 2040, we break through. And yeah, let me just see how far I was in relegation. Yep, I was right in the middle. So somewhere in the middle. I was kind of worried that another losing streak would have dumped me back down, but managed to survive that. So anyway, thanks for watching. my recap for my Mets Realm theme team 2039. And yeah, 2040, maybe we move up into the Bronze League after next season. So, looks promising. If you've been watching my recaps, you know they've been pretty. I've had some pretty rough goes. And so, now that we got our offense going, maybe we can break through, hopefully. So, thanks for watching. Much appreciated. If you like my content, thanks for your support if you can. And also, if you like indie demos, you can check out the rest of my channel where I do demo feedback and cover other video games. So, much appreciated. Thanks very much. And have a nice day. See ya. Until next season.